Riding isn't just about the machine. It's a culture, a code, a community that runs on respect, awareness, and a few unwritten rules that every real rider learns. Some the easy way, some the hard way. But every time someone rolls in with zero clue and zero effort, they chip away at that culture, like it's optional. They might have the gear, the patch, the bike, but what they don't have is the mindset. And it shows in the way they ride, the way they talk, and the way they treat other bikers like props in their weekend movie. So today we're calling it out. These are the motorcycle etiquette rules that people break all the time, whether it's ignorance, arrogance, or just plain disrespect. If you've been around long enough, you've seen every one of these. And if you're new, consider this your heads up before you make a fool of yourself at bike night. Number 1. Don't touch someone's bike without asking, ever. This should be the most obvious rule in the world, and yet it's broken constantly. You park at a show, a gas station, or even outside your favorite diner, and some guy walks up and starts poking at your controls, peeking under your tank, grabbing the throttle like he's doing a test fit for his future self. Let's get something straight. A motorcycle is personal space. Touching someone's bike without permission is like grabbing their steering wheel or digging through their glove box. It's not curiosity, it's disrespect. And the worst part, it's not just clueless tourists or kids. Sometimes it's other riders, especially the ones who think they're being helpful.
Oh, I just wanted to check out your setup.
Or, I had one like this back in the day. That doesn't give you a hall pass to lay hands on someone else's machine. You don't know how it's tuned, you don't know what's delicate, you don't know if they've got a custom clutch perch that costs more than your jacket, and you definitely don't know if they're okay with fingerprints all over their tank. If you want to look. Ask questions, compliment the setup, but unless the rider hands you the keys or says, go ahead, keep your damn hands off. Because if you don't respect the bike, you're not respecting the rider, and that's how reputations get built or burned real fast. Number 2, don't ask, how much did that cost? This one slips out of people's mouths way too often, especially from folks who are new to riding or just trying to make small talk. You're chatting about someone's build, admiring the paint, asking about the parts, and then you kill the vibe with, so how much did you spend on this? Wrong move. Motorcycles are personal. They're a mix of time, money, mistakes, and pride. Asking someone how much their bike cost is like asking them their salary or how much they pay in rent. It's nosy, it's tacky, and it's rarely coming from a place of genuine interest. Most of the time, it sounds like you're trying to size them up, or worse, down. And when it comes to custom builds or older bikes, the answer isn't even accurate. What they spend on parts doesn't reflect the hours in the garage, the busted knuckles, the trial and error. The price tag doesn't include the soul that went into it. If you want to talk about the bike, talk about the bike. Ask about the ride, the build, the feel, the performance. But don't treat someone's pride and joy like it's an eBay listing. You want to be respectful in this community? Learn to appreciate without assigning a price tag. That's how you earn trust. Not by acting like a bargain hunter at a swap meet. Number 3, don't rev your engine in neutral just to show off. You're parked with the group. Maybe it's bike night, a gas stop, or just a quick meetup before the ride. Everyone's hanging out, shooting the breeze, and then some guy starts cracking his throttle like he's warming up for a drag race. It's not once, it's not twice, it's every 5 seconds like a toddler with a new toy. Blop, blop, blop! We get it. Your bike's loud. You paid for that exhaust. You want people to hear it. But here's the thing. Nobody asked for a solo concert. Repeated revving while stationary is just noise pollution. And the only people who think it's cool are the ones who have never ridden more than 10 miles without stopping for attention. Real riders don't rev to impress. They let the bike speak for itself on the road. If you want to test something, fine. One rev to check idle or hear a tone, sure. But repeated throttle abuse while everyone's standing around trying to talk, that's not culture. That's cringy. And don't even try to justify it with, I just love the sound, man. Everyone loves the sound. That's why we ride. but we're not out here revving at every red light like we're 12. Respect the moment, respect the people around you, and save the noise for when it actually means something. Number 4. Don't join a group ride you weren't invited to. This is a big one, and it happens more often than you think. You're out with your crew, cruising in formation, keeping a smooth pace, and out of nowhere, someone joins the line. No introduction, no hand wave, just casually slips into formation like they've been there since the pre-ride briefing. Let's make something clear. A group ride is not an open invitation, not a parade, it's not a follow the leader game. It's a coordinated effort, planned, organized, and usually built on trust between riders who know how each other moves. When someone slides into that without asking, it throws off the entire dynamic. You don't know if they understand formation spacing. You don't know if they're safe. You don't know if they're going to wheelie out of the next corner and wreck the whole group. And the worst part, when you try to wave them off or politely signal that it's not an open ride, they look at you like you're the rude one. Here's the etiquette. If you see a group ride and want to join, ask. Pull up at the next stop and introduce yourself. Don't just blend in like a ghost. It's not just rude, it can be dangerous. Respect the pack, because if you don't be surprised when the pack doesn't respect you. Number 5. Don't give unsolicited advice about someone's riding or bike. You're at a meet. Someone pulls in on a bike that's not your style. Maybe they're wearing gear you wouldn't choose. Maybe you noticed their riding form looked a little stiff, and something inside you just has to say something. Don't. Unsolicited advice is one of the fastest ways to come off looking like a know-it-all poser. And it's one of the most hated habits in the riding world. If someone didn't ask for your opinion, keep it to yourself. Because no one's out here begging for critiques from a stranger in a parking lot. You might think you're being helpful. Hey man, you should really lean more through corners. That's not the best brand of tires for this kind of riding. You should try setting up your suspension like mine. But what the other person hears is, I'm better than you and you're doing it wrong. Unless it's a safety issue like something falling off their bike or a tire about to blow, keep the coaching to yourself, especially if you've never ridden with them. You don't know their experience. You don't know their build, their preferences, their reasons. You want to share knowledge? Cool. Build a relationship first, earn trust, then offer input. Otherwise, just let people ride their ride. Number 6. Don't block the pump at the gas station just to hang out. We've all seen it. You roll into a gas station during a group ride or a solo trip, and there's a rider just sitting on their bike at the pump, sipping a drink, chatting with friends, scrolling through their phone long after they finished filling up. Meanwhile, cars are stacking up behind them, other riders are waiting, and the whole place starts looking like a traffic jam, all because someone decided the gas pump was a social lounge. Let's be clear, fueling up is not a parking spot. It's not your personal rest stop. It's not where you hang out to look cool next to your bike. The pump is a functional space. Fill your tank, pay, and then move the hell out of the way so others can use it. What makes it worse is when there's plenty of space nearby. An open curb, an empty side lot, even a shaded spot 20 feet away. But nope, they stay glued to the pump like it's a throne. This isn't just about courtesy. It's about respect for everyone else on the road. Gas stations are shared space, and hogging a pump out of laziness or ego just makes you look clueless or worse, like you think the rules don't apply to you. You want to hang out? Do it after you roll your bike out of the way. Number 7. Don't wear the patch if you didn't earn it. This one hits a nerve, and it should. You show up to bike night wearing a back patch you bought online. Maybe it looks like a club patch. Maybe it's a novelty MC cut. Worse, it's a rip-off of a real club's colors with a few letters swapped around to make it your own. Big mistake. In the motorcycle world, patches carry meaning. They represent loyalty, brotherhood, miles, and sometimes blood. When you wear a patch you didn't earn, or try to mimic one to look the part, you're not just dressing up. You're disrespecting a whole history of tradition and commitment. And don't hide behind, it's just for fun, or I'm not trying to offend anyone. If you're wearing 3 pieces on your back with rockers and initials that look like club colors, You're pretending to be something you're not, and real riders notice. You don't need a patch to be respected. Ride your ride. Show up consistently. Be decent. That's what earns respect, not trying to shortcut your way into looking like a club member. If you don't know the difference between a support patch, a riding group, or a 1%er cut, don't touch it. And if you really want to wear colors, find a crew that invites you in the right way. Because in this world, trying to look like something you're not is the fastest way to lose face. Or worse. Number 8. Don't ride like a maniac when you're with other people. You're on a group ride. The pace is steady. The lines are clean. Everyone's riding smart. And then one guy decides it's time to turn the road into his personal racetrack. He's bombing through traffic, darting in and out of formation, popping little power wheelies and blasting through corners like he's chasing a lap time. That guy, he's not just annoying, he's dangerous. There's a difference between riding fast and riding stupid. If you want to push your limits, do it solo or take it to the track. But when you're in a group, your riding affects everyone around you. When someone rides erratically, it breaks formation, creates confusion, and forces other riders to compensate for your unpredictability. And it's not just about safety, it's about respect. You don't know if someone in the group is new. You don't know who's riding on nerves or who's just trying to enjoy the road without stress. Your little show-off moment could be the reason someone crashes or never comes back to ride again. Worse, you make the whole group look bad to the public. When one rider looks like a clown, everyone gets judged. It feeds every stereotype about bikers being reckless jerks. So don't be that guy. Ride within the group. Save the heroics for somewhere that won't ruin someone else's day or life. Number 9. Don't one-up every story at the table. You're sitting around after a ride, maybe at a diner, a bar, or a rest stop. Someone shares a close call they had on a mountain road. Another rider talks about a long solo trip through the desert. Then it starts. Oh yeah? Well, when I was in Colorado, I did that same road, but in the rain. 2 up. At night. Here we go. We all know this guy. Every story has to trigger his story. But louder, longer, more dramatic. It doesn't matter what you say, he's got a tale to top it. Close call? He had a crash. Epic ride? He rode farther. Sketchy moment? He somehow had one more intense, more dangerous, more important. This isn't just annoying, it's exhausting. Riders talk to connect, to trade experiences, to share lessons. But when someone constantly derails every moment to make it about them, it stops being a conversation and turns into a bragging contest. And usually, the guy doing the one-upping hasn't done half the things he claims. Or if he has, he's too insecure to let others have a moment without trying to steal it. Motorcycle culture thrives on stories, but it works best when people listen as much as they talk. If someone else is sharing, let them. Appreciate it. Relate to it. You don't need to top it. Sometimes the best thing you can say after someone's story is, "Damn, that's badass." Not, "I've got one better." Number 10. Don't act like a gatekeeper just because you've been riding longer. So you've been riding for 10, 20, maybe even 30 years. That's awesome. You've seen trends come and go, bikes rise and fall, and probably forgotten more about riding than some new riders have learned so far. But here's the thing. That doesn't make you the judge, jury, and executioner of who counts as a real rider. Some of the worst etiquette breakers are longtime riders who think their experience gives them permission to gatekeep the community. You've heard the comments. "That's not a real bike." "You're not a real rider unless you've done a cross-country trip." "If you don't wrench on your bike, you're just a poser." That kind of attitude doesn't build the culture, it kills it. Everyone starts somewhere. Not everyone wants the same experience out of riding. Some folks commute, some ride weekends, some wrench, some don't. And as long as they're safe, respectful, and passionate, they belong. When you start deciding who's worthy of being in the club, you stop being a mentor and start being a problem. The people you shame today might have been the riders who would have stuck around, grown, passed on knowledge tomorrow. if you hadn't pushed them away. Ride your ride. Share what you know. But don't treat motorcycling like a VIP lounge where only certain builds, brands, or styles are allowed. That's not what riding's about. And the old school folks who actually built this community, they knew that. Number 11. Don't crowd someone at a stoplight or pull too close in a group. You're riding with a group, or maybe you've just pulled up behind another biker at a red light. The light's red, everyone's stopped, and you roll up right next to them, elbow to elbow, bar to bar, like you're in a sidecar that doesn't exist. Newsflash, you're not supposed to do that. Unless you know the person, and they've signaled it's okay to ride side by side at a stop, crowding up next to them is bad etiquette. It's awkward, it messes with spacing, and it can be downright dangerous if someone needs to put a foot down or shift their weight. Not to mention, it puts you in their blind spot if they're angled or checking mirrors. In group rides, this gets even worse. The formation is staggered for a reason. Everyone has space. When someone pulls up too close, it throws off the entire rhythm. People start adjusting. The clean formation gets sloppy. And that's how tension builds real fast, especially if you do it more than once. Respect the bubble. Give people room. If they want you side by side, they'll wave you up. Otherwise, stop a little back and off to the side. You'll still look cool, and you won't get a death glare when you finally roll off again. Bike etiquette isn't just about what you do at speed. It's how you behave when everything stops. Number 12. Don't ghost the ride without saying a word. You're mid-ride, maybe 45 minutes into a beautiful back road cruise. Everyone's synced up, riding clean, and the group pulls into a gas station. You park, stretch, grab a drink, and then realize someone's missing. No crash, no breakdown, no emergency. They just bailed. Gone. No text, no heads up, just poof, ghosted the group without a word. This isn't just inconsiderate, it's stressful. Riders start wondering if they should go back and look for you. Did you break down? Did you crash? Did you get separated? It pulls attention from the ride and turns it into a group-wide guessing game. And if you ghost the ride at the beginning, it's even worse. People wait. They delay kickstands up. They call and text and worry. And eventually, someone has to decide whether to leave you behind or waste half the day trying to figure out where you went. Look, we get it. Sometimes you're not feeling it. Sometimes plans change. That's fine. But say something. A one-line text, a wave before you peel off, anything. Riding is a team dynamic. If you ride with others, don't disappear like you were never there. Motorcycle etiquette isn't about being polite for the sake of manners. It's about respecting the ride, the community, and the unspoken rules that keep things smooth, safe, and enjoyable for everyone. Break those rules, and it doesn't matter what you ride. You'll stick out like a sore thumb. So what about you? Ever seen someone totally break biker etiquette? Or maybe you were the one who had to learn the hard way. Drop your story in the comments. I want to hear the worst violations you've seen. And if this helped you or made you nod your head in anger, hit that like button and subscribe. There's a lot more biker wisdom coming your way. Ride smart, respect the culture, and don't be the reason everyone at bike night is suddenly real quiet.